the mighty walls of Jericho fall down.
The Jordan River was flowing fast. Its waters were wide and deep, rushing loudly as they moved across the land. On one side of the river stood the people of Israel. On the other side was the land. God had promised them a land filled with cities, farms, and strong walls. For many years, the Israelites had wandered in the wilderness. They had followed God through deserts and dangers. They had seen miracles. They had eaten manna from heaven. They had watched God defeat their enemies. But now, a great leader was gone. Moses was dead. The people felt afraid and unsure. "Who will lead us now?" they whispered. "How can we enter this land without Moses?" Then God spoke. God called a man named Joshua. Joshua had been Moses' helper for many years. He was brave, faithful, and trusted God. Joshua had watched Moses speak with God. He had seen the Red Sea split. He had learned to obey God without fear. God said to Joshua, "Moses, my servant, is dead. Now it is your turn. Be strong and courageous. I will be with you wherever you go." Joshua felt the weight of responsibility, but he trusted God. God gave Joshua clear instructions. "Lead my people across the Jordan River," God said. "I will give you every place where you set your foot." Joshua obeyed. He told the priests to carry the Ark of the Covenant and step into the river first. The Ark was a holy box that represented God's presence among the people. As soon as the priests' feet touched the water, something amazing happened. The river stopped flowing. The water stood up like a wall far upstream, and the ground beneath became dry. The Israelites walked across the river safely, just as their parents had once crossed the Red Sea. When they reached the other side, Joshua knew something important. God was still with them. Now, the Israelites stood inside the Promised Land. Their first challenge stood ahead of them, a mighty city called Jericho. Jericho was not an ordinary city. It was strong. It was powerful. It was protected by thick, tall walls that seemed impossible to break. The people of Jericho had heard stories about the Israelites. They had heard about the Red Sea. They had heard about Egypt. They had heard about the defeat of kings and armies. Fear filled the city. The gates of Jericho were shut tightly. No one went in. No one came out. Joshua looked at the walls and wondered, "How will we defeat this city?" Then something unexpected happened. One evening, as Joshua stood near the city, he saw a man standing before him with a sword in his hand. Joshua stepped forward bravely and asked, "Are you for us, or are you for our enemies?" The man answered, "Neither. I am the commander of the Lord's army." Joshua fell to the ground. He knew he was standing in the presence of God. The commander said, "Remove your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy." Joshua obeyed. God was about to fight this battle himself. The Lord gave Joshua a plan, but it was not what anyone expected. God said, "You will march around the city of Jericho once each day for 6 days. The priests will carry the ark and blow trumpets. The people must remain silent." Joshua listened carefully. On the 7th day, God continued, "You will march around the city 7 times. Then the priests will blow their trumpets loudly, and the people will shout with all their strength." God promised, "When they shout, the walls of Jericho will fall down." Joshua was surprised. No weapons, no fighting, no ladders, just marching, silence, and shouting. But Joshua trusted God. He gathered the priests and the people and explained the plan. Some people were confused. March around a city. They whispered, "Stay silent. Will this really work?" Joshua spoke firmly, "Do exactly as the Lord has commanded." Early the next morning, the people of Israel lined up. The priests carried the ark. Trumpets were ready. They began to march. Around Jericho they went quietly. The only sounds were footsteps and trumpet blasts. The people of Jericho watched from the walls, laughing and mocking. "What are they doing?" they said. "Do they think this will defeat us?" After one full circle, the Israelites returned to their camp. Day after day, the same thing happened. March, trumpets, silence. 6 days passed. The walls of Jericho still stood tall and strong. But God was preparing something powerful. The seventh day was coming. And with it, a miracle that would be remembered forever. The sun rose gently over the land of Jericho. From the top of the city walls, guards looked down and saw the camp of Israel spread across the plain. Thousands of tents filled the land. Soldiers stood ready. Priests waited quietly beside the Ark of the Covenant. Inside the city, fear lived in every home. The people of Jericho had heard the stories. They knew how God had dried up the Red Sea. They knew how kings had fallen before Israel. Now the Israelites stood right outside their walls. Jericho's gates were shut tight. No one entered, no one left. Early that morning, Joshua gave the command. The priests lifted the Ark of the Covenant. 7 priests stepped forward, each holding a trumpet made from a ram's horn. Behind them came the soldiers, and behind the soldiers came the rest of the people. Joshua spoke clearly, "Do not shout, do not speak. Let no word come out of your mouth until I tell you to shout." The people obeyed. Slowly, the great line of Israel began to move. They marched toward the city. The trumpets blew, sending deep, echoing sounds across the land. Their footsteps pressed into the dry ground. But the people said nothing, not a whisper, not a cry. Around the city they went once. From the walls, the people of Jericho laughed. "Look at them," they mocked. "Are they afraid to fight? Do they think walking will break our walls?" When the march was finished, the Israelites returned to their camp. No battle, no shouting, just silence. That night, confusion filled Jericho. What kind of army does not fight? The people wondered. The next day, the same thing happened. At dawn, the trumpets sounded. The ark was lifted. The people marched again quietly around the city. Day after day, the pattern continued. Day 1, Day 2, Day 3, Day 4, Day 5, Day 6. Each day, the Israelites marched once around the city and returned to camp. No attack, no weapons raised, no word spoken. Inside Jericho, fear began to grow. Something was wrong. The people could feel it. Among the people of Jericho lived a woman named Rahab. Rahab was not a soldier. She was not rich or powerful, but she believed in the God of Israel. Long before the marching began, Rahab had hidden 2 Israelite spies in her house. She had protected them when the king of Jericho searched for them. She had said to them, "I know that the Lord has given you this land. We have heard what your God has done. Our hearts melt with fear." Rahab believed that the God of Israel was the true God. Before the spies left, Rahab asked for mercy. "Please promise me," she said, "that when you destroy this city, you will spare me and my family." The spies agreed. They told her, "Tie a red rope in your window. When the city falls, everyone inside your house will be safe." Rahab obeyed. She tied the red rope in her window and gathered her family inside her house, which was built against the city wall. Every day, as the Israelites marched, Rahab watched quietly from her window. She did not laugh, she did not mock, she waited in faith. By the 6th day, tension filled the air. The people of Jericho whispered to one another, "Why do they keep marching? What are they waiting for?" Even the strongest soldiers felt uneasy. Joshua, meanwhile, trusted God completely. He did not change the plan. He did not rush. He did not fear the walls. He believed God's promise. That night, Joshua gathered the leaders of Israel. "Tomorrow," he said, "we rise early. On the 7th day, we will march around the city 7 times. The people listened closely. When I say shout, Joshua continued, "Shout with all your strength. The Lord has given you the city." The camp was quiet that night. Some people felt excited. Some felt nervous. Some wondered if the walls would really fall. But deep down, they remembered everything God had done before. He had never failed them. Inside Jericho, fear filled every street. Parents hugged their children. Soldiers held their weapons tightly. The city stood strong, but its people were afraid. Rahab gathered her family close. "Stay here," she said. "Trust the Lord." As the moon rose over Jericho, no one slept well. The seventh day was coming. And with it, a moment that would change history forever. The seventh day arrived early. Before the sun fully rose, Joshua stood up in the camp of Israel. The air felt different that morning. It was quiet, but full of expectation. Joshua walked among the people and gave clear instructions. "Today is the day," he said. "We will march around the city 7 times. Do not speak. Do not shout until I give the command." The priests lifted the Ark of the Covenant. The 7 priests stepped forward with their ram's horn trumpets. The soldiers formed their lines. Behind them followed the people, men, women, and children. The trumpet sounded. The march began. First time around the city, the Israelites walked quietly around Jericho. The city walls stood tall and strong. Soldiers on top of the walls watched closely, gripping their weapons. No one spoke. When the first round was complete, the march continued. Second time again, the trumpets blew. Dust rose under their feet. Still, no words came from the people. The people of Jericho grew uneasy. Why did they keep walking? Some whispered. Third time, the sun climbed higher in the sky. Sweat covered the faces of the Israelites. Still, they marched in silence. Fourth time, fear spread inside the city. The sound of the trumpets echoed again and again. Rahab stood in her house near the wall. The red rope hung clearly from her window. Her family stood close together, holding hands. "Trust the Lord," Rahab whispered. Fifth time, the soldiers of Jericho felt their confidence fading. No enemy attack came, but the silence was heavy and frightening. Sixth time, the ground shook slightly beneath thousands of footsteps. The people of Israel were tired, but they did not stop. Joshua walked calmly at the front. His eyes were fixed ahead. He remembered God's promise. "See, I have given Jericho into your hand." Seventh time now, the tension was almost unbearable. The Israelites marched around the city one last time. The trumpets blew louder and longer than before. When the 7th round was complete, Joshua stopped. He raised his hand. The people froze. Joshua shouted with a strong voice, "Shout! For the Lord has given you the city." In that moment, the people of Israel lifted their voices together. They shouted with all their strength. The trumpets blasted loudly. And then, the walls of Jericho collapsed. Stones cracked, towers shook. The great walls that had stood for many years fell down flat, crashing into the ground. Dust filled the air. The city of Jericho lay open before them. The people of Jericho screamed in fear. Soldiers dropped their weapons. Homes shook and fell. But one house still stood, Rahab's house. The wall around her home had fallen, but her house remained safe. Joshua gave another command, "Go into the city. Take what the Lord has given you." The soldiers rushed forward, straight into the city, just as God had promised. Joshua turned to the 2 spies who had once hidden in Rahab's home. "Go," he said. "Bring Rahab and her family out safely." The spies ran through the broken city until they reached Rahab's house. They saw the red rope still hanging in the window. They called out, "Rahab, come out, you and everyone with you." Rahab stepped out with her father, her mother, her brothers, and her sisters. Not one of them was harmed. They were brought safely outside the camp of Israel. Joshua kept his promise. Jericho was defeated not by swords or strength, but by obedience and faith in God. The people of Israel stood amazed. They had seen with their own eyes that nothing is too hard for the Lord. That day, Joshua became known throughout the land. The people feared the Lord, and they trusted the leadership of Joshua. And the story of Jericho was told again and again how faith made walls fall. After the walls of Jericho fell, the city lay open before the people of Israel. Dust filled the air, and broken stones covered the ground. The mighty city that once caused fear now stood silent. Joshua reminded the people of the Lord's command. "This city belongs to God," Joshua said. "Everything in it is devoted to the Lord. Do not take anything for yourselves." The people listened carefully. They remembered how God had given them victory without fighting. They did not want to disobey him now. The soldiers moved through the city, following Joshua's instructions. They did not act with pride. They acted with respect and obedience. Silver, gold, and valuable items were gathered and set aside for the Lord's treasury. Nothing was taken secretly. Nothing was stolen. Jericho was no longer a city of power. It had become a lesson for the whole land that the Lord fights for his people. Outside the camp of Israel, Rahab and her family stood together. They were safe. Their lives had been spared just as God promised. Rahab looked back toward the city. Smoke rose into the sky. The home where she once lived was gone, but her heart was full of gratitude. "I trusted the Lord," Rahab said softly, "and he saved us." Joshua welcomed Rahab and her family among the people of Israel. She was no longer an outsider. She was no longer afraid. Rahab chose to follow the God of Israel, the God who keeps his promises. She learned the laws of the Lord. She worshipped him. She raised her family to honor him. In time, Rahab became part of Israel's story forever. Her faith would be remembered for generations. Joshua's warning: when the work in Jericho was finished, Joshua gathered the people together. He lifted his voice and spoke a warning from the Lord. "Cursed be anyone who tries to rebuild this city," Joshua said. "The cost will be great." The people listened carefully. They understood that Jericho was not just a defeated city, it was a sign of God's power. They promised to obey. Fear spreads across the land. News of Jericho spread quickly. Kings in nearby lands heard the story. They did not use ladders, people said. They did not break the walls with weapons, others whispered. They marched, they obeyed, and their God destroyed the city. Fear filled the hearts of Israel's enemies. But faith filled the hearts of Israel. The people knew now that as long as they obeyed the Lord, no enemy could stand against them. Joshua grows strong as a leader. Joshua became a respected leader among the people. They trusted him because he listened to God. He did not lead with pride. He led with obedience. Joshua often remembered Moses, his teacher. He remembered how Moses had trusted God at the Red Sea. Now Joshua had seen God's power with his own eyes. He taught the people to stay faithful. "Do not forget what the Lord has done," Joshua reminded them. Victory comes from obedience, not strength. A lesson for the children. Parents told the story to their children. "When you see the stones of Jericho," they said, "remember this day." Children asked, "How did the walls fall?" And the parents answered, "By faith, by obedience, by trusting God completely." The children listened with wide eyes. They learned that God keeps his promises. Israel prepares to move forward. After Jericho, the people of Israel rested for a short time. They thanked the Lord with songs and prayers. Then Joshua prepared them for what was next. "There are more lands ahead," he said. "We must continue to obey the Lord." The people agreed. They were no longer slaves wandering in the desert. They were God's people, walking forward in faith. Jericho was only the beginning. After the victory at Jericho, the people of Israel gathered together in peace. The dust had settled, the noise was gone. Only quiet voices of gratitude filled the camp. Joshua stood among the people and looked at them with a thankful heart. They had seen something no one could ever forget. They had seen walls fall not because of strength, weapons, or clever plans, but because they trusted God completely. Joshua reminds the people. Joshua spoke to the people gently. "Never forget this day," he said. "It was not our power that won the battle. It was the Lord." The people nodded. They understood that obedience was greater than strength. They understood that faith was stronger than fear. Lesson 1. Faith means trusting God, even when it does not make sense. Marching around a city for 7 days did not make sense. Staying silent did not make sense. Shouting instead of fighting did not make sense. But God's ways are higher than human ways. Faith means trusting God, even when we do not understand His plan. Just like the people of Israel, we may face problems that look like strong walls: fear, sickness, worry, or hard situations. But when we trust God, those walls can fall. Lesson 2. Obedience brings God's power. The people followed every instruction God gave them. They did not change the plan. They did not rush ahead. They obeyed completely. Because of that obedience, God moved in a powerful way. When we obey God at home, at school, with our friends, He blesses us and guides us. Lesson 3. God keeps His promises. God promised Joshua that Jericho would fall, and it did. God promised Rahab that she and her family would be saved, and they were. God never breaks His promises. When God speaks, His word always comes true. Lesson 4. Anyone can be saved. Rahab was not born among God's people, but she believed. She chose faith over fear. Because of that, God saved her and gave her a new life. This shows us that God's love is for everyone, no matter where they come from or what their past looks like. Lesson 5. Victory belongs to God. The walls of Jericho fell flat, but the people did not boast. They gave glory to God. When good things happen in our lives, we should remember to thank God, because He is the source of all victory. A message for you watching this. Dear viewer, if you are watching this today, remember this: no wall is too strong for God. No problem is too big for Him. No situation is impossible when faith leads the way. Just like Joshua, trust God. Just like the people of Israel, obey Him. Just like Rahab, believe His promises. Time for a short prayer. Let us pray together. Dear God, thank You for teaching us through the story of Joshua and Jericho. Help us to trust You even when we are afraid. Give us faith when life feels difficult. Help us obey You and follow Your ways. Just like You made the walls fall, remove every fear and problem in our lives. We trust You, Lord. Amen. If this story blessed you today, please don't forget to like this video, comment below. What wall do you want God to help you overcome? And subscribe to this channel for more powerful Bible stories. Don't forget to share this video with someone who needs encouragement. Every week, we bring Bible stories to life in a simple and powerful way so both children and adults can learn, grow, and be inspired. Thank you for watching. May God bless you. And remember, faith can make walls fall.